I need that one. Sorry, finally, the importance of the Shanachie. Storytelling is very important, we all know that. And I've made the importance of copy and copy lines and telling stories is going to be more important than it was in the past. It was always important. It's now even more important. That was one of the most successful campaigns in London. I don't know if you can read it there, but it was an estate agent who ran these jokey ads, and people sometimes used buy the newspaper just to read the ads. And there were tiny little ads. And the killer line was usually at the end. You know, he kind of described the property in appalling detail and then said, however, tart it up and you're going to treble your money in a couple of months. Brilliantly successful, but compulsively readable copy. One of the most successful ads of all time was a tiny little ad in the London Times in 1909 or something like that. And again, if you read that copy carefully, it's actually quite well crafted. And although it is spelling out the disadvantages of what might happen to you if you go on this trip, it is saying honor and glory if you survive. So it was a challenge to people, and again, beautifully written. Finally,
I think I was always misunderstood. People just didn't seem to like me. I think I annoyed them. I got on their nerves. I don't know why. That's just the way it was. Yeah. Maybe I was too intense. Maybe I came on too strong. I don't know. I really can't say. Yeah, it was lonely. Really lonely. But you get used to it after a while. And then one day, everything changed. Somebody finally accepted me for what I am. Since I've got this job, life is completely different. I finally feel useful, good at something.
Now, the point I'm making about that's, first of all, the story is brilliant. Secondly, the angle with which the creative person approaches the problem of selling wind is completely counterintuitive. Instead of talking about the advantages and doing loads of group discussions and say, give us all the advantages, it takes the other way around. So that can only come from a creative insight, not from any other source. And as I say, sometimes I think we should have faith in that. Two final conclusions from the awards. First of all, there's a slight worry in the awards this year, and maybe it's just because we're just getting out of the recession, that the recession plus digitalization plus retailerization is creating an awful lot of short-term campaigns. It seems the combination of the whole three of them is not a good idea. The recession is making people worried. I need sales increases immediately. The increasing power of the retailer, I'll give you a promotion, and in the process I'll ruin your brand, because if you keep doing promotions you're going to ruin your brand. And digitalization seems to be a bit short term. A lot of the campaigns that I see, I don't see enough long-term thinking in a lot of them. So that combination is not great. It's not about new media, it's about new marketing. We need to come up with new ways of marketing. New media is there, there'll always be kind of new media. Finally, I should have put Sir John Hegarty. If you're really successful in the UK, you become a Sir. John Hegarty, who is one of the great creative directors in the UK, made the point that there's no future without a past, unless you understand the past. So my final point is, please have a look at all those case histories. You should have a working knowledge of the better case histories and why they worked and what the return on investment was, because when you're making an argument for higher budgets, it's very powerful, and B, it'll give you ideas for the planning of campaigns. And that was what I was that's what I was told not to do as a title for the campaign. It's exactly the same sentiment as Be Wise Advertise. And if you don't know that headline, then you should, because that was one of the better headlines for the Irish Hospitals Sweepstakes, one of the better advertising campaigns in Ireland for a long time. The fact that it was in the 1930s, 40s and 50s is no excuse for not knowing it. In every other discipline, people know the history of their discipline. So I think we neglect our history, and I think it's a mistake, and I think we would be more credible as an industry, and we would make a better case for higher investment, and we would ultimately do better campaigns if we had a better idea of where we'd come from. Thank you.